crime, stop the dealing, stop the killing. It's time to kick the devil out your mind. Black crime, white crime, stop the dealing, stop the killing. It's time to kick the devil out your mind. Wake up, let's unite. 'Cause our lives matter. Rise up, protect your rights. 'Cause our lives matter. Stand up, let's unite. 'Cause our lives matter. Rise up, protect your rights. 'Cause our lives matter.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Jones here with Rocket Valley, and this is the Wake Up, Rise Up weekly show where you get a chance to hear from some of the people that are involved with Wake Up, Rise Up, the International Concert of Peace. Okay, with me tonight is Justin Olsen, who is on the Kirk Radio. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Kirk Radio, right? Okay. You're on the Kirk
Yes.
Radio stage. That's out of Canada.
Right.
Our wonderful neighbors to the north. So for some reason, I just wanted to say good day, mate, but that's the wrong direction. So, Justin, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm just peachy, man. We're doing good today. Yeah, I am. So, you're not from Canada, though, are you?
No, I'm actually from the States. I actually live in New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Right. Yep. Right under, right by Texas.
Right. I can hear that little twang in there. Yes. Yeah, I have some friends that live down that way. It's a nice area. My daughter, just a side quick thing, my daughter was in San Antonio for about a year with the Navy. So
Oh wow.
That's a nice area down there, but it's a little on the warm side, isn't it?
Yeah. It's already, we're already hitting over 100. So
No, you really.
yeah.
You know, I'm going down a little rabbit hole here, but I'll come back in a sec. Years ago, past lifetime in the last century, I was with my parents, went to Las Vegas, and I got out and I said to the guy who's in a three-piece suit, I'm 16 years old, and I said, my God, it's hot. There's this thermometer. It says it's 118 degrees. I said, God, that's hot. He says, no, he says, it ain't hot. Yesterday it was hot. It's 125. I went, ooh. So you guys get some serious weather out there.
Yeah.
So
The weather around here seems to be bipolar too. It changes its mind what it wants to do.
ooh, that's not good. Temper tantrums, I would imagine. So how'd you meet Chris? I mean, if you're down in Arizona, he's up in what, Toronto?
We actually met on Facebook through a music group called Real Talk Radio.
Oh, really?
We met on there. Yeah.
Okay, so what drew you to Chris? I mean, he wasn't with Wake Up, Rise Up when you first met him.
No, we actually just started talking because we both share music on Real Talk Radio on that group page, and he heard some of my stuff and I heard some of his stuff, and we started talking on Facebook Messenger and been talking ever since. And then he asked me about the Wake Up Rise Up thing, if I wanted to be a part of that. I said sure. And
What do you think of Wake Up, Rise Up?
I like it. It's a good movement. You know, it's standing for a good cause. It's something that I can back up.
That's cool. Yeah, and you did a song about it.
Right.
Right. I mean, I'm trying to avoid asking the question because you're down in a hot spot right now. Okay, and we're kind of hitting current events, but you're down in a hot spot right now that something really, really, really bad happened.
Right.
Over there with all those kids and stuff. And I mean, you got to be reflecting on some things about this. I'm diving into your opinion here, but what are you thinking?
I mean, I don't agree with it. You know, and I don't really understand it. I don't understand why in elementary of all things. I mean, you know, those kids were definitely innocent and had nothing to do with it. So I don't understand that at all. So
I agree with what you're saying there. You know, why there? And
right.
It's interesting because the Wake Up Rise Up group, we see all this. You know, we have people that monitor the news. And when something like this comes up, it shakes us right to our core.
Right.
You know, we're about families. We're all about everybody. And it just hits you. And it's like, you know, I had said earlier, you know, what drew you to Wake Up, Rise Up? And you say it's a good cause. Did you know about Wake Up, Rise Up last year when we first ran?
No, I actually didn't. First time hearing about it was from Chris.
Wow. Okay. So then that song you wrote just kind of came out of the blue, right?
Yeah. He asked me if I wanted to be a part of it and told me that I needed to write a song. So I wrote a song.
He told you how to write a song. That's right. Chris is doing all originals on his site, on his stage, right? That's right.
Yep.
I forgot about that. Yeah. He's just not in. Yeah, he doesn't want anyone doing any cover stuff. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
right.
Tough. So you had to pull something out of your head like real quick. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, he gave me a time limit, but I'm pretty sure I met the time limit and some.
Oh yeah.
I wrote a song in about a week, so it didn't take me very long.
You know, I've been in music, playing keys and that stuff for 50 years, and I can't get anything sounding much better than Sousa. I mean, it's terrible. How you can write a song in a week is beyond me. I mean, where do you get your inspiration from something like that?
I honestly just need a subject, and I need just basically the meaning of something, and something like that, that has so much meaning behind it. It's really not. I mean, I don't want to sound conceited or anything, but it's really not hard for me when it's something that that has that much meaning behind it.
Yeah,
it's an easy subject to touch on, I guess you would say.
So, I mean, you're looking at. I mean, I'm looking at you. You're probably. I'm guessing you're in your 30s. Okay.
38.
38. Okay, so you're in your 30s. Okay. We've come up with some violent times here. Now, you haven't seen, like, when I was young, a kid asked me one time, he says, Mr. Jones, when you were young, was it really like everything black and white outside? Was the grass black and white? It's like, no, just the TVs were black and white. Okay. And I'm serious. A kid actually asked me that question, but, I'm not quite that old, but my thing is that, like, when I was a kid, we used to play outside till dark, run around the neighborhood wherever we wanted to go. We used to play with guns. Okay. There's a rifle gun. I mean, a rifle club at our school, but we don't see that now.
Right.
Again, like I said in the beginning, what are you thinking of this? I mean, there's this big change. We got this violence in schools. They've posted all the schools that have been hit. It's 900 locations. I don't even know how many, but there's something astronomical. And
yeah, way too many. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, so we're getting involved with Wake Up Rise Up here. What can we do? What can we do with music? What can we, you're here for a reason. What can you do? I mean, you're not going to just write a song and say, there, get peaceful, people.
Yeah, no, I mean, it takes a lot more people than just, one guy like me, but I was actually on the YouTube site last night for Wake Up, Rise Up, and I was watching a bunch of the songs and different people that have performed and done stuff. And, music has a certain way of reaching a lot of people, that just talking don't. But I mean, like you said, you can't just write a song and call it good at that. You got to do more than that. And I mean, that comes down to everybody doing their own little thing, in their personal areas, to start with, and then branch out from there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, your stuff is, how would you describe your music? Let me back up and just ask that. How would you describe your music?
Well, the majority of my stuff is Christian rap. I'm actually a Christian rapper.
Okay.
I do still rap about other stuff, but I rap 90% about God.
Okay.
And so, I used to, when I first started music, I mean, I've done music my whole entire life, and, but it's just recently been about the last 2 years that I decided I was going to become a Christian rapper. I don't curse in my music anymore. I don't, and I touch on some real sensitive subjects that a lot of people can relate to, I think,
And that's contrary to what rap is, because, well, not really. When rap first started, which is interesting because some music files say that one of the first rap songs was Get Rhythm by Johnny Cash.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. And I don't know if I can agree with that or not, but it's just to say, well, that was rap, and he was kind of like the rebel music back then. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Right.
your 80s rap was more about, your Sugar Hill Gang and that kind of stuff, dancing and, the Double Dutch Bus or whatever. But into the 90s, you start getting to the rap got violent. And
Yeah.
here you are with a music that got very violent. Now you've turned it into Christian. So,
and it's hard to get listeners touching on that subject right there. I have a lot of people that'll listen to my stuff. Man, you're good. And, but they don't keep listening because a lot of the stuff I rap about is kind of convicting too, and they don't want to hear that stuff. They don't want to hear stuff that makes them feel bad about their actions or things that they're doing, so.
Well, like, what kind of subject might you be? Something we can talk about here.
I talk a lot about sinning and, just different types of sin and the way you act towards other people, the way you are, getting right with Jesus, and getting saved. I talk a lot about all that stuff, and a lot of people just don't want to hear about that stuff.
So you're kind of like calling, maybe not specifically calling a person out, like you didn't write it about Steve Jones and say, Steve, you got to do this, this, and this, but you're writing about this.
Right.
People are your music is so strong that you're actually people are identifying with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's very
exactly.
I mean, and you're using the format of rap to do that, which is even more interesting to do that.
Right.
It's kind of like a friend of mine does Christian rock. I've heard Christian heavy metal, which is really a contradictory of terms, considering how metal is all skull and crossbones and that kind of stuff, and and so forth. Do you sell albums? You said you sell.
I've only came out with one album, and I did get 250 hard copies of that. I was trying to sell them, and I had a lot of people that said they wanted one. And when the time came, they actually didn't. So I started handing them out. But I don't regret doing it because I'm still promoting myself, and my album is on YouTube as well. My entire album is on YouTube. So,
well, I'll talk about that. What's your YouTube channel? Let's talk about that. That's right. We're going to talk about that. What's your YouTube channel? Tell us about that.
It's
you forget, don't you?
Yeah, it's because I made it a long time ago. It's YouTube /CREEPA /C. I'm probably.
You sent me an email with it. You sent me
Yes, I sent you an email with the YouTube link in it, and I sent it has the link to the Wake Up Rise Up song as well, and a few other of my songs as well. I sent the links to 5 songs, I believe.
Yeah, it's Creep AFP.
Yeah. That's the group I used to be in was called Foul Play, so that's where the FP came from.
Creep AFP. Okay.
Yep.
I'll link to that if you don't mind. I'm
sorry.
I'll link to that if you don't mind. I'll put that up on.
Oh yeah.
And
sure.
Yeah, I think the whole concept of Christian music in rap, I mean, country and gospel have gone hand in hand since they first started. So, it's always in there. But
right.
Being in top 40 and being in heavy metal and just rock in general, Christian music, it's very interesting because it doesn't happen there. You've had it in folk music, like I said, and of course your country. So I find it unique that you're doing it this way, but it's tough because.
Right. And see, I actually have I actually get influences from everywhere because my dad, he's a hard rock guy, not necessarily hard rock. He likes the Eagles and, he grew up on all that stuff. Yeah. And I have all my cousins and my uncles, they love country. And I love all genres of music. I get inspiration from everything, but my personal taste is rap /R&B.
Who's your big guy for you?
I don't dare to call myself a singer, but I do dabble with it sometimes.
Who's your big guy, your big influence, besides Jesus Christ? Okay, but who's your...
I like Zonti and ASAP Preach. Those are all Christian rappers. Brian Trejo. I honestly don't even listen to any mainstream rap anymore. I used to listen to Biggie and Tupac and all that stuff, but I stopped listening to all that. I try to keep the negative out. So I try and keep all the positive in, but there's plenty of other Christian rappers out there like Zonti and ASAP Preach, Brian Trejo from Kingdom Music. I listen to a lot of these guys. So
that's cool. I mean,
I really like Zonti. He's really good. He's got a very unique style.
I don't even know the names that you're talking about. That would be just
right.
Here's where I listen to everything. I do. I don't like the gangster rap out of the 90s. That stuff turns me off. There was some, I don't even know what it's called, but they take the drums and they beat the drums to the ground and they scream over the mics, and it's just like, I had them on a show one time and they lasted 2 minutes. I took them off. Okay, and
right.
It's just I can't take the music. It was just that bad, and it's really, if I had a pacemaker, it probably would make it blow up. I mean, I can't handle certain kind. And I apologize to those people who do that kind of music, but there's one type I just can't do. But I can do everything else. I can do classical. I can do country, oldies, and no oldies. I got to tell you right now, okay, as I talk, oldies is not the 80s. Oldies is the 50s. All right, that's it. I want to hear this. That oldies is the 80s.
I love oldies too. I listen to Otis Redding all the time and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'm actually the same way. I cannot listen to what they call death metal.
Yeah.
I cannot listen to that. It's not music to me. It's a bunch of screaming and I mean it's.
I had a kid come on one time a few years ago, and all he did, I mean, if you listen to him, there's 2 words in the English language: F-bombs and mother. That was it. And I had to take him down. I had to stop broadcasting him because it's like, what is this? There's no creativity. Right. There's no music to this. All you're doing is being offensive. And it's like, someone will say, well, freedom of creativity. And so, yeah, I get that. But that wasn't being creativity. It wasn't being creative. It was just, it was terrible. I mean, and there are people, there are some kind of genres and songs you get up there and people think they're doing okay. And it sounds like they're crashing into a wall. And, I started vetting afterward, after that act, I started vetting it and hearing what they are before I put them up. And unfortunately, you got to say, hey, you got to go back to the drawing board and work on this a little bit. And even when they don't drop the F-bombs and stuff like that, because even myself, I mean, there's some songs that I've tried playing out in public and they explode on me, and, but, point is that you want to, when you get into doing some of this stuff, I don't understand why people have to use the heavy cussing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too much. It's overkill, and and
that's exactly why I strayed away from that because, like I said, when I first started doing rap, I used to cuss in my music and everything, and I finally decided, well, I'm going to do this for God, and if I'm going to do it, then I don't need to have any of that in there. I can make plenty of music without filling in the gaps with those words. So,
yeah, you don't. It's hard. I mean, there are some people that. Okay, we'll let that go. So, yeah,
right.
We're just beating it up. But so your YouTube page is Creep AFP. You got a whole album up there for some pretty cool stuff. You just jumping into Wake Up, Rise Up. Okay.
Right.
And how long have you been performing? I mean, you got one album. I mean, you sound like you've been performing longer than your album's been around.
Yeah. I've done about 5 or 6 actual live performances on stage. But the town that I live in, actually, Brian Trejo from Kingdom Music, he comes down. He's already been down here, I think, 3 times to this little bitty town. And I did some songs there. I did another live performance for my church. They had a little get together and I performed the whole entire thing.
Cool.
And
well,
I haven't done a whole lot of it, but I try. But as far as doing the music, yeah, I've been doing it for a few years now.
it's cool. I mean, I really liked what you did before, and what we're going to do, we're going to stick that video in with this broadcast. So we'll put that right after we're done talking here. And so everyone out there can see this. And that's also going to be part of the, I think Chris on Kirk Radio is going to include that video as part of his stage for the 21st. Is that true?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's great. You get a chance to see it again, a little more exposure. Please, ladies and gentlemen, go to Creep AFP on the YouTube channel and check out what this band's doing. I think you'll really find it really cool, great. I like his music. Okay, and no, I'm not an easy sell. Okay. I have definitely a discerning ear, and
right.
you know, I listen to what you do, and I do like it. It is. It's
Thank you very much.
Inspiring, and it's good for a night. You know, you can sit down and listen to it for a little bit, and I'd like to be able to put some of it on our audio feed also. So if you don't mind, I may grab a few songs off of your audio stuff, and I'll put it out and put it in our rotation, if that's okay with you.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, well,
I love that. Thank you very much.
No problem. All right, so you have a regular website, or you have a Facebook page you want to tell us about?
I have a Facebook page, just Justin Olsen.
Okay,
okay. And I do post all my music on there as well. I have an Instagram.
You have an Instagram? Is that Justin Olsen as well? Put that there. Justin,
yes, sir.
As well.
Yes, yeah. It's Justin Olsen as well, and my Facebook is Justin Olsen. They can find me, and I post the links to my YouTube on all my pages. So,
okay. One last question: have you had a chance to work with Jay Walker?
I have not.
Okay, he's part of Kirk Radio as well.
Oh, okay.
When you work with that guy, you're in for a treat. He's a real piece of work. I think he's a great guy. He and I get going back and forth. If you could do any impersonations of cartoon characters, don't say a word. Start off with a cartoon character. The guy gets hysterical. So, oh my God, I set this poor guy up on a show here. So, but at any rate,
that's awesome.
Well, okay. Justin, I thank you very much for coming on the weekly show here for Wake Up Rise Up. We're looking forward to seeing your video. We're going to put that up shortly here. And
yeah, it's Justin Olsen as well, and my Facebook is Justin Olsen. They can find me, and I post the links to my YouTube on all my pages. So,
okay. One last question: have you had a chance to work with Jay Walker?
I have not.
Okay, he's part of Kirk Radio as well.
Oh, okay.
When you work with that guy, you're in for a treat. He's a real piece of work. I think he's a great guy. He and I get going back and forth. If you could do any impersonations of cartoon characters, don't say a word. Start off with a cartoon character. The guy gets hysterical. So, oh my God, I set this poor guy up on a show here. So, but at any rate,
that's awesome.
Well, okay. Justin, I thank you very much for coming on the weekly show here for Wake Up Rise Up. We're looking forward to seeing your video. We're going to put that up shortly here. And we're looking forward to seeing you again on September 21st. We're going to get out there. We're going to make peace. And we're going to keep.
Rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter. Wake up, rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter. We need to wake up now, rise up, let me break it down. Can't hide it, so let's face it now. That's right, it's gonna be painful, but we'll make it out. Love each other, come my brothers, be more like the one above us. Come my sisters, love each other, be the voice for one another. Undiscovered love, if you can see past someone's color, you give undeserving, they won't take the time to see what's underneath. Some will preach but never practice anything they say, and it's abundantly a problem, and it's time to make a change. Spread the love and keep on praying. Stop the hate you've been conveying. Come together in our faith that we will see a brighter day. Stop the stealing, stop the dealing, stop the killing. All together now dispose of all those wicked feelings you've been there concealing. Need to wake up, rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter. Wake up, rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter. Come together now, we can do much better now. We don't have to weather the storm, no, we'll storm the weather out. When they try dividing us, we'll just reach inside of us. Show them that our love will conquer all the lies they've been providing us. Life is tough, but hey, we got this now. Don't give up, there's no stopping now. The fight is on and popping, good versus evil, evil dropping now. Come together, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. Love is lifted, every race and size. We're undivided, by his blood we're gifted. Unrelenting, we can't stop peaking till we reach the top. Keep speaking till they eat the topic. No need to proceed with caution. We've been lost for far too long. Toss away that heart of stone. Miss the bullseye, shifting from the target we've been darting on. Hard but on the right track, and we try hard while we wipe that slate clean. Start all over once again and mend those bonds we started making. Far from taking all the pain and grief we felt to better now. I refuse to give up, I'ma take the truth and let it help us. Wake up, rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter. Wake up, rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter. Wake up, rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter. Wake up, rise up, faith up, eyes up. We need to see that our lives matter.
I'm the founder of Peace Amongst Youth, which is a nonprofit organization based out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. The purpose of my organization is to bring awareness to how our community is impacted by violent crimes and the negative impact it has on us as a whole, poor and untreated. I'm personally in this mission because I lost my 13-year-old son to gun violence in 2012. Until today, I'm fighting the justice system for my son who's now.
Please listen to this message for you. It's from the groups of Phase 5 Record Show. When someone said we need to spread the news, we decided to share it through a song. Black crime, white crime, stop the dealing, stop the killing. It's time to kick that devil out your mind. Black crime, white crime, stop the dealing, stop the killing. It's time to kick that devil out your mind. Let's unite, 'cause our lives matter. Rise up, protect your rights, 'cause our lives matter. Stand up, let's unite, 'cause our lives matter. Rise up, protect your rights, 'cause our lives matter.
It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Love your brother, love your sister, please treat them right. Don't wait until they're almost dead to feed the poor, even with a loaf of bread. Yeah.
Let's unite,
Yeah.
'cause our lives matter. Rise up, protect your rights, 'cause our lives matter. Stand up, let's unite, 'cause our lives matter. Rise up, protect your rights, 'cause our lives matter.
knows it's the same old mess. Someone got shot, can't snitch, no arrest. Here's the basic information before leaving Earth. Open up that book, it's all in the Word.
2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and will forgive their sins, and will heal their land.
Human traffic, kidnapping, this is too wild. Another missing child. Why complain about the politicians you call a joke? In the end, you won't even go and vote.
Wake up, let's unite, 'cause our lives matter. Rise up, protect your rights, 'cause our lives matter. Stand up, let's unite, 'cause our lives matter.
Children, I've come back today to tell the story of the long, hard way that I had to climb, that I had to know, in order that my race might live and grow. Look at my face, dark as the night, yet shining like the sun, the lowest true light. I am the child they stole from the sand 300 years ago in Africa's land.